Let me ask you a question, sis. My name is Yuri, by the way. What's your name, sis? Sharkina? Nice to meet you, sis. So, my question to you is, have you been to church before? Have you grew up in the church? Not really. You grew up in the church? What have they said? Like, what have you learned in church? It went in one ear and out the other, maybe? Okay, I'm gonna show you something that you've never heard before. All right, and this pertains to you and your children. All right, read this.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14, verse 2. For thou art an holy people.
So God is talking to a specific people, which is the Israelites, and we're gonna show you are an Israelite. All right, read.
For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God.
We're holy. Holy means separate unto the Lord thy God. All right, read.
And the Lord hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people.
So God chose the Israelites to be a peculiar people. Peculiar meaning special. We are a special people unto Him. Now, let me ask you something. Aren't black people special when you really think about it? We endured slavery. We endured Jim Crow. We endured black codes, right? And we're still here. They tried to destroy us, but they couldn't. We are a special people unto God, right? But right now we're in error, and He's trying to show us that through affliction, through pain. As bad as it may sound, that's how God is trying to show us. You need to get your act together. You need to keep my commandments, so I can give you rulership and dominion again over the earth. So your kids won't have to fear for their lives every time they walk down through the street. So our sons won't get shot down in the street by our own other sons, by the police. Because God appointed us terror. He appointed terror over us because we didn't keep the commandments, all right? And I'm going to show you that. Leviticus 26, verse 14. Did you know, I'm sure you've heard in the church, God is all love, right? Guess what? God has another side. God gets angry. God gets remorseful. God is sorrowful. Every emotion we have, we get from the Most High. God just isn't, oh, I love everybody, I love everything. No, that is the lie they taught us in the Christian church.
Right.
I'm going to show you that God, everything evil that happens to us, God made it happen. Read.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 26, verse 14. But if ye will not hearken unto me.
So God said, if we don't listen unto Him, if we don't keep His commandments, what will happen?
And will not do all these commandments, and if ye shall despise my statutes, or if your soul abhor my judgments.
If we hate God's judgments, right, ignoring all of His judgments, for example, fornication, right, messing around when men jump from women to women to women, women jumping from men to men to men. What's one of the judgments? What do we call it today? It's a disease. AIDS, right, STDs, gonorrhea, all that. That's a judgment. That's a judgment, and God says it. Nope, stay there.
But if ye will not hearken unto me, and will not do all these commandments.
So if we don't keep God's commandments, get to the point where it says, I will appoint thee over you terror.
I also will do this unto you.
Keep in mind, God says, I will do this unto you. So right now, this is going to kill, I love everything, all I do is love. God says, I'll do this unto my children for not listening. Read.
I will even appoint over you terror.
Terror. God says He will appoint terror unto His children for not listening to Him. Did you know that? Did you know that's the God of the Bible? You knew that? Okay, so since you knew that, I'm going to put it to the test, right? I'm going to give you an example. So back in the 40s and 50s and 60s, how did God appoint terror to the so-called black and Hispanic community? Say again, sis? Slavery, okay. Slavery was over, but you know what I'm saying? What else was there? Can somebody pan the camera? Can somebody pan the camera? Say again? Tuskegee, That's a perfect example. The Tuskegee experiment. They tricked our people into thinking they were going to help us, right? But instead they were injecting us with syphilis. That's a form of terror. So you're absolutely correct. Another one, the KKK. We can't forget about the KKK. They literally dragged us out of our houses and burned us. Read that again. This is what God said.
Verse 16, I also will do this unto you. I will even appoint over you terror.
Terror. Dragging you out of your houses. That's exactly what the KKK did. Terror. That's terrorism, right? Read.
Consumption. And the burning ague.
Diseases. God says he'll put diseases on us, sis, if we don't keep his commandments. All right? Now let me ask you something. Real quick. These are your children? Nieces, nephews? Right. Okay, good. Right? So let's just say if your brothers and sisters, or even you, if your nieces and nephews don't listen to you, what are you going to do? Say again? They're going to get in trouble, right? You're going to discipline them, right? Since we're God's chosen people, he said he's going to do the same exact thing to us. And I'm going to prove it. Our punishment is going to prove we are the Israelites. Our punishment is going to prove that we are God's chosen people and his chosen people only. The so-called white man is not God's chosen people. The so-called Arab man is not God's chosen people. That is impossible. God's chosen people is by bloodline. And I'm going to prove it to you, sis, that you're an Israelite. You are a princess of God. Your niece, nope, do it around me. Your nieces and your nephews are princes and princesses of God, all right? I'm going to show you through the punishments. Read.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15.
In fact, get 27 and 1, because at this time, Moses was speaking to a specific people. He wasn't speaking to everybody. He was speaking to the children of Israel, all right? Read.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 27, verse 1. And Moses, with the elders of Israel, commanded the people, saying...
So Moses was speaking to the elders of Israel, commanding the people. So this is the what's the word? This is the audience. We're talking about the audience. Moses was speaking to the children of Israel, which is the audience. All right. Now let's get the curses.
Verse 15. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass.
So Moses was warning the children of Israel right after he took them out of Egypt, which is captivity, slavery. Right? They were serving slavery in Egypt. Now he's warning them what would happen if you don't keep the commandments. Read.
If thou would not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
The voice of the Lord is the Bible. All right? It has all the commandments. All right? Read.
To observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
So Moses was telling the Israelites, the children of Israel, if you don't keep the commandments, something is going to happen to you and your bloodline in the future. Read. Come on.
That all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Sis, let me ask you something. Moses told the children of Israel that curses would come upon them and overtake them. Are curses a good thing or a bad thing? They're a bad thing, right? If I cuss you out, if I put a curse on you with black magic or something, that's a bad thing, right? So Moses said, all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Verse 16.
Yes.
Cursed shall thou be in the city.
So Moses is going over some of the curses now. Moses said what now?
Cursed shall thou be in the city.
And my brother, right now we're going over curses that are upon us, right? Right now we're cursed in the city. Sis, are we not cursed in the city? We talked about it earlier, right? How we're in poverty. Rosemont, we're in the hoods, right? There's shootouts. I've lived here for a long time. There's shootouts, there's crimes. Our people are stranded on drugs, right? All we do is get drunk. That's being cursed in the city, right? Check this out.
Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field.
Cursed shall thou be in the field. We were cursed in the field too. During what time? During what time, sis? Where is it? In the time of slavery, cotton fields, sugar canes. The Hispanics, they were picking tobacco, sugar canes as well. Cursed in the field, all right? Now I'm going to hit some key clues to identify who we are. Verse 68. Let me ask you, my sister, how do we get to this side of America? Historically. Say again? By what now? Slave ships. I'm going to show you that is biblically in the Bible. That's correct. Historically and biblically. This proves that we're the Israelites.
The scriptures say, where there is no vision, the people perish.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV.
Do you know history?
I'm going to show you and prove to you that the Israelites are black, were always black.
Dance floor time, just move up your body. Don't get loose and groove on the body. Bruise, wine. Put on the armor, the procedure complete. Me nah go back, nah retreat. All traitors, every Jezebel must get delete. Me no sleep on a demon, me keep a full clip. Conspire me downfall, cause them want to me slave. Stay close to the real ones, we seal off and legit. Cause I gotta use them to keep your soul from the pit. This a war life, I swear to God.
Historically and biblically, this proves that we're the Israelites, all right? Read. Keep in mind, this is a curse. This is a curse that would happen to the Israelites, all right? Read.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So God says he's going to bring the Israelites into Egypt again. But we have to understand what Egypt is exactly, all right? Because remember, I'm sure you heard when Moses brought the Israelites out of Egypt, let my people go. He said that to Pharaoh because Pharaoh had the Israelites in bondage. So we're going to get the biblical definition of what Egypt means, okay? Read.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 2. And I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
So Egypt is synonymous for bondage. So when you hear Egypt, it means bondage or slavery, all right? So go back to Deuteronomy 28:68.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So God says he was going to bring the Israelites into Egypt again, or slavery again.
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
My sister, how did you say we got here? On slave ships. God says he was going to bring the Israelites into Egypt again with what?
With ships.
God says he brought the Israelites into slavery again with ships. What you said and what the Bible said matched up perfectly. That didn't happen to anybody else. But hold on, there's more to it. Read.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
We're not going to see our homeland again. Read.
And there,
once we got to the shores of America, read, or Central America or South America, because the diaspora was huge. It persisted of the blacks, Hispanics, and natives. Read.
Ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
Whoa, God says once we got to the shores of a strange land, we would be sold unto our enemies. What happened to the so-called blacks and Hispanics when we got to the shores of America? They auctioned us off, right? Our history is matching up with the Bible, with the curses of the Bible that the Israelites had. Still have. Okay, read.
Ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen,
for slave men,
and bondwomen,
and slave women,
and no man shall buy you.
Meaning no man shall redeem you or free you. Let me ask you something, my sister. Does that not match up with our history? Absolutely. So if we're cursed in the city, and the Bible says the Israelites were going to go into slavery on slave ships, and historically, we went on slavery with slave ships, what does that make us? God's chosen people. That makes us the Israelites. But hold on. The question is, how did we get here again? It's because, my sister, what's your name again? Say again? Sharkina, right? It's Sharkina. The reason why we're in this condition is because we broke God's commandments. You understand? So let me ask you this. If we broke God's commandments, that put us in this situation, right? How do we get out of this situation? How do we get God to acknowledge us again? Not breaking his commandments. Good. Now the question is, what are his commandments? You see what I'm saying? What are his commandments? I'm going to show you some commandments that you can keep so God can acknowledge you. Because I'm going to show you something that you may not have known, all right? I'm going to show you. Get John 9:32 real quick. Because as long as we're in sin, sis, as long as the blacks, Hispanics, and natives are in sin, God will not acknowledge us. He won't hear our prayers. But once we keep his commandments, God will listen to us, all right? I'm about to show you some commandments. Read.
The book of John, chapter 9, verse 31. Now, we know that God hears not sinners.
Sis, God says he doesn't hear sinners. So if you're breaking his commandments, he's not hearing you. Okay, read.
But if any man be a worshiper of God and doeth his will, him he heareth.
So if we do God's will, which is his commandments, he will hear you, he will acknowledge you. Now, let's get some commandments. I'm going to get some commandments specifically for you, sis, all right? Deuteronomy 22, all right? This is a commandment you can apply to you and your nieces, all right? Do you want God to hear your prayers? You want him to hear? Of course, right? But as long as we're in sin, he won't hear us.
Right.
He won't acknowledge us. Read.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 5. The woman shall not wear tanneth unto a man.
So God says the woman is not to wear which pertains to a man. Let me ask you, my sister, what pertains to a man in clothing? The pants, right? The pants, because guess what? When a woman wears pants, what does it do to men around you? It causes them to break their neck, right? It causes them to look, which causes lust, right? God says he wants his princesses to cover up their body in modesty.
Right.
All right, because you are precious. My sister, right now we're going over modesty. God says for our sisters to wear dresses. Okay, read that again. Stay there and then get first. I'm going to show you, sis, all right?
The woman shall not wear which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment.
So God says vice versa. Women aren't supposed to wear pants, and men aren't supposed to wear dresses. But guess what? Guess what we have today? We have all these celebrities wearing what? Dresses. Everything is out of order. You have what? Will Smith's son wearing dresses. Rappers like Young Thug wearing dresses. They're pushing evil. Okay? Guess what God says that is, right? Read.
For all that do so are an abomination unto the Lord thy God.
An abomination. God says a woman wearing pants. My sister, God says a woman wearing pants is an abomination. God hates that. Did you know that, sis? Did you know that God hates? God hates. He hates it when his princes and his princesses are in error.
Right.
It makes him angry, right? So learning this law, because remember, breaking God's laws as the Israelites, what happened to us? We went into what? We went into slavery. That's the biblical understanding. Now, when we keep God's laws, guess what? He will acknowledge us and he'll have mercy on us. But it's up to us. It's up to us. Let me show you this is what's required of God, and then you can get 1 Timothy. All right? Deuteronomy 10 and 12. All right? God says, learning that you're an Israelite, that you're a princess, that you're, sis, you're just, our women just aren't baby mothers, thotties, side pieces. Absolutely not. You as my sister, I look at you as a princess of the Most High.
Right.
But we have to act like it. We can't be niggas anymore. Right? Read. This is what God requires of you, sis. All right? You listening? Make sure you're paying attention, my sister. All right?
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 10, verse 12. And now Israel, what doeth the Lord thy God require of thee?
So remember, God is only speaking to Israel. He says what? He requires something of us. Nope, don't get distracted, all right? All right, make sure you pay attention. God says he requires something of the Israelites. Read.
But to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul.
So right now the next verse is going to explain how we love God and how we serve God, okay? Read.
To keep the commandments.
To keep the what?
Keep the commandments.
Sis, you love God, right? I gave you a commandment, remember? It was to wear a dress. In order to love God, you have to what?
Keep the commandments.
You have to keep the commandments. You got a question? Okay, right. But guess what? Does your job have a specific dress code, or can you? Okay. Guess what though? Guess what? Since that's a good question. Ask your job if you can wear a dress. And if you climb up the stairs, guess what? You can still be modest. You can wear leggings underneath. Because the point is to be modest, to not bring any sexual attention to you. Because guess what? When our sisters are immodest, that creates baby mothers, baby fathers, broken households, because everything is driven off of lust. All right? Get 1 Timothy. Get 1 Timothy. And then I'm going to show you how your foremothers used to dress. All right? Read.
The book of 1 Timothy, chapter 2, verse 9. In like manner also, that the women adorn themselves in modest apparel.
So the Bible says for our sisters, our daughters of Sarah, to dress in modest apparel. Again, modest apparel means not bringing sexual attention to yourself. Because again, it creates lust in the community, right? Read that again.
In like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel. With shamefacedness.
Shamefaced. You're not loud. You're not ghetto all up in a man's face. You're very humble. You're shamefaced. All right? Read.
And with sobriety. Not with braided hair.
Now, that doesn't mean you can't have braided hair. It just means that's not your main focus, the outwards appearance. Because it's the inwards, you keeping the commandments. That's what matters the most. Okay? Read.
Or gold. Or pearls. Or costlier wear. But which becoming woman professing godliness.
That's the main point. Professing godliness. You being modest. You being humble. You being shamefaced. Not getting drunk. Not getting high. Teaching your children. All right. Teaching your nieces and your nephews. All right. Yep. You got Titus? You got Titus? Yep. Read this now, okay? Pay attention, my sis. These are other forms of godliness you can proclaim. All right. Read.
The book of Titus, chapter 2, verse 3. The aged women likewise, that they be in behavior as becoming holiness, not false accusers.
Not false accusers, read. Lying, right?
Not given to much wine.
Not getting drunk. Drinking wine is according to God's laws, but getting drunk is the problem. All right, read.
Teachers of good things.
Teaching of good things. Teaching your children. Teaching your nieces and nephews. All right, read.
That they may teach the young woman.
To teach the young women. All right, like your nieces. Read.
To be sober.
Not to get drunk.
To love their husbands.
To love their husbands. Because guess what? In our community today, the woman is always set against the man. Negro, you can't tell me what to do. I got my own money. That's not according to God. What you got? Not yet. Let's finish this out. I got my own money. I don't need you. I don't need a man. On the contrary, God says, yes, you do. Your desire is to be unto your husband. And that's why when y'all go in the beauty supplies, y'all always getting beat up by the Asian man. Because y'all have the personality. I don't need no man. But when trouble comes, where's the black man to protect me? Where's the Hispanic man to protect me? Nope. Because y'all want to be loud and stubborn. But that's why we're out here, sis, to fix that. With the Bible. You see what I'm saying? Everything I'm saying is through the scriptures. Okay, read. And it's not to be against the black woman. We actually love our black women.
Right.
We love them to death. We'll protect y'all, but we have to get in order. We have to get in order as a community, as a people, so God can acknowledge us. Okay, read.
To love their husbands.
To love their husbands. Read.
To love their children.
Because guess what? we don't love our children. We may think there's so many cases of the black woman, the Hispanic woman doing much evil to their children. Just throwing them in the garbage can, aborting them, even putting them in ovens and cooking them alive. I'm gonna show you our black women are like that. Our black and Hispanic women, they're crazy, and we're here to fix that. Get Lamentations, I think it's like 4, talking about the ostrich. All right, that's why we're out here. That's in Lamentations, right? Talking about the woman is like an ostrich stepping on their eggs. I'm gonna show you, sis. Our not just the black woman, it's the black man that's out of order. All right, it's like either chapter 3 or like chapter 4, talking about the ostrich. You got it? All right. You gotta understand, sis. That's why we're out here. They say that, yeah, we hate black women. That's not true. We love our women. That's why we're out here to correct our women. Not just our women, our brothers too. And I'm gonna show you, the Most High showed us that our women would entreat their children evilly. All right, read.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 3. Even the sea monsters draw out the breast. They give suck to their young ones. The daughter of my people is become cruel.
The daughter of my people, that's you, my sister. Not you specifically, but in general. God, in fact, read that again. Start from the top.
Verse 3. Even the sea monsters draw out the breast. They give suck to their young ones.
So God is saying, even the sea monsters, the fish, the sea lions, they take care of their children, right? They give suck the breast, to feed their children, right? Read.
The daughter of my people have become cruel.
The daughter of my people have become cruel. They have become cruel. Read.
Like the ostrich.
Like the ostrich. Read.
In the wilderness.
Because when you look at the attributes of an ostrich, sometimes the ostrich will forget she laid eggs, and she'll go stomping all on the eggs and kill her young. That's what the Most High is comparing his daughters to. They're cruel, aborting their children, just throwing them in the dumpsters. We're here to fix that. The prophets of God are here to fix that. Not the pastors. They're not doing nothing. They're saying give 10% of your offering. The tithes and offerings has nothing to do with money, sis. But the prophets, the men you see here, are here to fix our community.
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is